Avengers Endgame needs more Captain Marvel at the start of the film. Okay, it needs a lot more Captain Marvel scenes at the start of the film. I don't like Captain Marvel, so it may sound a little bit strange that someone that doesn't like Captain Marvel says we need to see more Captain Marvel, but something very weird has happened. All of the Captain Marvel introduction scenes have been cut out from the film. What is going on at the start of Avengers Endgame? So what do we actually get as an introduction to Captain Marvel? Well, at the end of Infinity War, we get the end credit scene where Nick Fury is getting dusted, and his last action is to activate his little pager thing, and we get a close-up of the pager, and it has the Captain Marvel symbol on it. He's calling Captain Marvel for help. And then we get a disappointing Captain Marvel movie because it has absolutely nothing to do with that, complete false advertising, but we do get a little bit in the end credit scene from Captain Marvel. It starts with pretty much the same shot from a different location. We have the pager there, but this time it's in some sort of laboratory, and we know that's the Avengers base in upstate New York. We see some of the remaining Avengers sort of talking about what's happened, everyone's dead, things are looking pretty bleak, and then they turn around and we get this.
Where's Fury?
And that is our little teaser introduction we get at the very end of Captain Marvel. But that scene looks like it's from Endgame. It looks like it's ripped out from somewhere near the start of Endgame, where we actually have the introduction of the Captain Marvel character with all of the remaining Avengers characters. But at the start of Endgame, we get a Tony Stark on board the spaceship. Things are looking pretty bleak. He's not looking very healthy. There's a glowy thing in front of him. We kind of know what, unfortunately, it's going to be. And yep, it's Captain Marvel. So I thought, oh, that's a little bit strange. It's not how I thought things would happen. It looks like she's actually on her way to Earth, and she's come across Tony Stark and Nebula, and she happens to rescue them on the way, and then we'll get the scene where she's actually introduced to the Avengers. You know, she says, "Where's Fury?" and so on. So that's what it looked to me as to what's going on. And then we see her. She just flies the ship back herself, and she lands on the planet Earth again outside of the Avengers base in upstate New York, and we've got a little reunion scene where Tony Stark gets back with Pepper Potts. But just before Captain Marvel actually gets back to Earth with the spaceship, we get our first scene with Captain America, and it looks like Captain America has just finished shaving off his beard. But in the end credit scene in Captain Marvel, he's very clearly still got his beard. And so there is no introduction scene. Where is Captain Marvel introduced to the Avengers? It's nowhere. It doesn't actually exist. And she doesn't introduce herself to Iron Man. She doesn't meet Nebula. This is not in the film. They have decided that in a 3-hour-long film, they didn't have enough time to show the introduction of what they're saying is the future of the MCU, Captain Marvel, to the existing characters. What's going on here? Why has this been cut out? So again, I'm not a big fan of the Captain Marvel movie, but where is this character's introduction? It just starts off in the middle, and we don't get any of that. We don't get any interaction. Hello, I'm Captain Marvel, or where's Fury? Where's that scene at? None of it. It's all been cut out. I mean, was it terrible? Was the performances terrible? They cut it out? I don't think that's what the case would be. They're just not showing it at all. Now, what I thought when I actually saw it and this unfolded, I thought, wow, this looks like I should go watch Captain Marvel to find out her introduction to the Avengers. That would be an interesting thing to watch, except I've already seen Captain Marvel, and it's not in there. But I've spoke to people that haven't seen Captain Marvel and saw Endgame, and they thought the same thing, and they were going to go see Captain Marvel to catch up on all of this missing stuff. And it's not there. It's not there. So is this their actual plan? Have they purposefully ripped out what looks to be some interesting introductions and some interesting interactions and make it look like it's in the Captain Marvel movie, which is still playing right now, to make more people go see Captain Marvel? I would hope that's not what they've done. Have they sacrificed the quality of this film to get a little bit of extra money for Captain Marvel? If not, why is it missing? It seems very strange that this crucial thing, the actual introduction, the first introduction of their brand new character that's supposed to be running everything from now on, just doesn't happen. So it looks like Captain Marvel didn't randomly come across Tony Stark and Nebula as she was heading towards Earth. It looks like she was already on Earth, but we're not really shown that. And then she went out looking specifically for Tony and Nebula, except we're not told how she could find them or why she would even know where they are. At last we really know is that Tony Stark was on board one of those round donut ships heading out to who knows where. Now, obviously, in Infinity War, he actually got to the planet Titan, but I don't know if anyone on Earth actually knows anything about where he was at that point in time. So how would they even know where to look for him? How does Captain Marvel know where he is? Well, she found him, she saved him, but It's missing stuff. Something's missing. It doesn't seem to make any sense. The next question is, well, how long has she been on Earth for? What is the actual timeline right now? Did the snap just happen? How long ago was the snap?
It's been 23 days since Thanos came to Earth.
So the snap was 23 days ago, so that means the pager was activated by Nick Fury 23 days ago. So she might have been here for 23 or 22 days. So she hasn't just arrived. It's unclear how long she's been here for, but she's been with them for some period of time, at least several days. So she's arrived, she says, "Where's Fury?" We don't know what else happened other than she then said, "I'm going to go find Iron Man, this person I've never met before, and he'll be floating around somewhere I don't know where." So there's no explanation as to why she's looking for Iron Man, why she thinks Iron Man would be there, how she found Iron Man, and she brought him back. Now, obviously a good thing she did, because it looks like he was about to die, but it doesn't make any sense at all. Now, on the good side of things, the performance that we get from Captain Marvel in this film is far better than what we get in the Captain Marvel movie, which is what I was actually optimistic for, that the Russo brothers would be able to sort something out, and the performance that we got to see from the other film was really the fault of the directors and the writing, whereas here we've got a competent set of directors, we have competent writing, and we actually get what is commonly called an emotion out of Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel looks like she's feeling a bit of sorrow for the missing Nick Fury. Now, I'm not sure why she's not very happy about Nick Fury missing, because, I mean, they weren't together for too long in the Captain Marvel movie, but maybe they've been back and met up with each other over the, 20 years or whatever it is, 25 years in between. But she is displaying some emotions, and the character just seems a lot better for this one brief, tiny little moment, which we see nothing like this in the entire Captain Marvel movie. But the scene also plays like one that should have happened straight away after she arrived, saying, "Where's Fury?" It looks like she's reacting to the news right now. So obviously she could just be getting upset again with having it brought back up again. But it kind of looks like they're going through, hey, here are all the people who got dusted. And she looks like she's reacting for the first time, going, oh no, this guy I knew, he's dead, he's gone. Where is he? What's happening? And then Captain Marvel has the plan of, well, okay, let's go and find Thanos. And we get this little piece of interaction.
Because before you didn't have me.
Hey, new girl. Everybody in this room is about that superhero life.
And War Machine sort of pushes back a little bit. I guess he doesn't know just how powerful she is, but that looks like the kind of interaction you get when you first meet somebody. So again, this feels like she has just arrived, but she hasn't just arrived. She's arrived at some point in time, days ago, weeks ago, then went out looking for Tony Stark, then brought Tony Stark back. But that's what the interaction feels like. This feels like the first interaction between her and the Avengers, but that has happened perhaps weeks ago.
If you don't mind my asking, where the hell have you been all this time?
And War Machine raises another very good point. Again, another good point that would probably be raised right when she first meets them, not this several weeks or several days after she's already been hanging around at their base. So what's going on with the timeline here? Where are these missing scenes? Why does this all feel completely wrong? And then just before we leave, we get the little bit of interaction between Thor and Captain Marvel.
I like this one.
Which again doesn't seem like the kind of interaction you'd get after days or weeks of having someone around. This seems like what you would get on your first reaction to them after she's only just arrived. But she hasn't just only arrived. So what is going on here? Have they got some sort of weird master plan to force more people to think they've missed out on seeing some interesting things in Captain Marvel which don't actually exist? Or is this just a big mess? It looks like a big mess to me. It looks like we need more Captain Marvel. Where are the Captain Marvel introduction scenes? Where is the interaction between Captain Marvel and the Avengers? She's just horribly shoehorned in. Why is it done in such a terrible way? Now, again, I don't really like Captain Marvel from the Captain Marvel film. I don't hate it. I just don't like it. And if she wasn't in the start of the film, I would be fine with that. Okay, I'd be perfectly fine with that if she's not there. And I think that's a real possibility of what could happen, because what does she really do? Well, she turns up and she rescues Tony Stark because the ship happened to break. Okay, if the ship doesn't break, he gets back and everything's the same. So the very fact that she rescues him without even knowing how she finds him and why she's looking for him, but she rescues Tony Stark and Nebula, that didn't have to happen. It's a very strange start to the film where we put this bleak idea that Tony Stark may die within the first few minutes of the film. Who believes that was going to happen? Did we really think he was going to starve to death right at the start of the film? So why even need him to be rescued? It doesn't really add too much to the film. But again, I'm not necessarily saying she shouldn't be in the film at all. I think that could happen. That would be good. But what they've added in is terrible. It doesn't make any sense. It looks like there's maybe been some arguments behind the scenes. There's been some political maneuvering, and someone, Feige, has forced the Russo brothers to put this in and put it in this way, and they've said, no, we need more time for other things, and they've decided to cut out her actual introduction as some sort of, way to go, all right, we'll give it these many minutes and not that many minutes. I don't understand what is happening here. The film has got a lot of good stuff in it. I do like the film. There are some things in the film I don't like, and this is a part of it. I don't like how slow the start of the film was. I don't like this, where it feels like we're missing scenes. Where are these Captain Marvel scenes? I want more Captain Marvel in Endgame. I don't think I thought I'd ever say that. I want more Captain Marvel scenes in Endgame. This doesn't make any sense right at the start of the film. Is there going to be a director's cut, perhaps? It's 3.5 hours long. Maybe that will have these crucial scenes. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.